When I spoke about Doom Infinite, pretty much every comment was telling me to turn off the texture filtering, so before I talk about the game at all, I'm going to show all of you on video me turning off the texture filtering. And boosh, done. Ever since the beginning of time, mankind has asked themselves, what if Mario was badass and was a cold-blooded killer who will not hesitate to blow somebody's head off, who hates his own brother for winning at tennis, and who may or may not be a communist? Well, if you've asked any of those questions yourself, it's your lucky day, because I have a Doom mod that's gonna answer at least 3 of them. In all my time talking about ROM hacks and fan games, I'm always baffled at the sheer volume of stuff that just slips under my radar. I swear, every time I do a marathon, I look up Mario Doom mod, knowing that there must be a Doom mod out there where you play as Mario, running through Mario-themed worlds, shooting Mario enemies with Mario-themed guns. The closest thing I could find in the past was the Golden Souls trilogy, although that only matched that description in a vaguely spiritual way. It's still one of my favorite Doom mods out there, but I really wanted that man in red. After all these years, I felt like I just had to be missing something, like the game I'm picturing in my head has to exist, and somehow I just keep glancing over it. And then, by complete chance, pure happenstance, I found exactly what I was looking for in what is possibly the most unlikely place imaginable. Mike Matei. Yeah, motherfucker Mike himself played this game on a stream a few years ago. He might not work with the nerd so much anymore, but he's still good for something.
You can play as hidden characters like the Bullshit Man and Mike. Who the fuck is Mike?
What you're looking at here is actually the combination of 2 mods put together. One of them is Mario Doom, which replaces the sprites and textures with Mario stuff, and the other is a map pack based on Mario called Mayhem 17. This is a real winning combination and actually ends up being a profoundly passionate love letter to Mario in disguise as a goofy looking Doom mod. I half expected this to just be some low effort thing that I'd beat in 15 minutes, but no. This is a whole big thing. It's probably the size of an actual Doom campaign, and I do not understand how it took me this long to happen upon it. It's very likely that I would never have seen this had it not been for this guy, so thank you, Mike Matei. You really outdid yourself this time.
Partially Tim Allen!
I think Doom mods are kinda like a pepperoni pizza, and that it's one of the safest options when it comes to playing a new fan creation. It's something where, as long as you have the fundamentals down, it's really hard to mess it up. The wide open maze-like levels is the pepperoni. The weapon and enemy variety is the mozzarella cheese. The new remixes are the tomato sauce. If your Doom mod has these things going for it, then after that, it's just a matter of not fucking something up horribly. Like putting bell peppers on the pizza. You gotta be a lunatic to do that. Super Mario Doom plus Mayhem 17 is a mod that pretty much hits on all the right notes. You have these wide open levels full of secrets to find, there's non-linearity, it rewards exploration, you have all kinds of deadly enemies to fight and weapons to engage them with. It's every bit as Doom itself, despite the whimsical Mario overtones. The level designs have some missteps, like this time I got permanently stuck in this crevice, but other than that, it's just what I would have wanted from something like this. You have all kinds of instantaneously recognizable Mario locale, as well as all those familiar Mario sound effects, like sometimes when you kill an enemy really good, it gives you that sound from Super Mario World when you spin jump on an enemy. Mario has been a 2D platformer, a 3D platformer, a racing game, party game, fighting game, sports simulator, puzzle game, RPG. That man has done just about everything outside of first-person shooters, unless you count that Yoshi game on Super Nintendo that uses the Super Scope. I don't really count that, although the Super Scope is in the game. But what really won me over, again, is the music. This game features all kinds of remixed tunes that take from all kinds of Mario games. My personal favorite is the Xnot Fortress music. You put this song in any game whatsoever and it's already a winner. The most exciting thing about these kinds of mods is seeing what kind of enemies or assets will be used to replace the originals and figuring out which enemies are which just by fighting them. I remember a Magic Koopa showed up and I was like, ooh, neat, which enemy is he gonna be? And then he started doing this and I'm like, oh fuck, he's the Archvile, shit. Shy Guys replace Imps, Koopas replace Possessed Soldiers, Boos replaced Lost Souls, Womp is something. I actually don't know what he's supposed to be. One of the funniest things is that the starter pistol is the Nintendo Zapper, specifically the redesigned orange one, which was made so that it didn't look like a real gun so much as the gray one did. As if that's a priority in a Doom mod of all things. And the chain gun is replaced by the Super Scope. You can just get a power glove, power pad, and laser scope. You can really become AVGN himself. My favorite thing of all, though, is the chainsaw, which is replaced by a chain chomp that you just carry around with you and set on everybody in sight. There are a lot of references beyond the basic recurring Mario stuff, though, like the Star Wand from Paper Mario, which of course replaces the BFG. You even got some Zelda references in there for good measure. I'm most impressed with the animations. It's hard to tell how much of the sprite work, if at all, is official or not, but I do know for a fact-ish that Nintendo never animated these characters dying horribly as they do in the game. I think there's a lot of humor inherent to that, in the same way as Squidward's Last Stand, in that the art direction, weapons, and enemies are all cartoonish and whimsical, but the death animations are horrific and extremely gory. That dissonance is inherently comical, to the point that it almost reminds me of a playable Newgrounds cartoon from 2011. But what's even funnier is the story. Doom isn't known for its story, but every 8 or so levels, it'll give you a long block of text giving you some narrative context to what you're doing. This was brought back for this mod, which is how you learn that all the dead toads that litter the world were actually killed by Mario himself, who just had enough of all the Princess in Another Castle line. You park the airship on some poor Shy Guy's house in Groovy Grove or whatever it's called. The locals seem miffed at your callousness. They won't be talking tough for long. God damn, this man is not playing anymore. This ain't no game. Sometimes I find the Mario is evil bit funny, not necessarily on its own merit, but because of how it recontextualizes the existing Mario lore. Take Origami King for instance. King Ollie was doing this big long speech about how evil the Toads are, and how they ruined his life and stole his job and ruined the economy or whatever. How do we know Mario isn't standing there thinking, he started to make a lot of sense to me? I guess if there's one thing that bugs me about this mod, it would have to be the difficulty. It is surprisingly punishing, especially for something based on Mario. The footage you're looking at here is the Hurt Me Plenty difficulty, which of course is the medium default difficulty that everybody plays on, and I mean, just look at this shit. That's way too much, man. Meanwhile, the lower difficulty is too easy. I'm feeling like Goldilocks and the 3 wads out here. It's a really tricky balance to attain. There might have been a nice in-between somewhere, but if you can adapt and rise to the challenge or just abuse quick saves, it's still a lot of fun. This is a mod that I would have loved to play when it came out if I only knew about it at the time. It's not mechanically ambitious, but it is surprisingly inventive in some moments, requiring attention and memory. It's a lot of action and some occasional brain power. It's a lot of fun, and best of all, you can shoot a Magic Koopa's entire face off. I've been wanting to do that since Color Splash. That's a wrap for today, but remember to come back tomorrow. But I warn you, it's gonna get bloody. Real bloody. Stay tuned, and Merry Christmas, cousins!